Okay, guys, you might still hear the fan. I'm not completely sure. Sometimes it doesn't pick up the fan, and other times it does. And I'm sure volume even messes with it, but it's whatever. It's further back this time. I can still feel it. It's not accidentally on the second mode, like I had it on. But let's get this what if started. So I just called it what if my MHA or my Hero Academia was in or another world. It's probably only going to be a daily upload one, and I'm trying to figure out what Naruto what if I want to do. And so let's start this out. So this is about the time they're supposed to go on 1-on-1. So how it works is that you will have one mage and one knight. So, and they're put into a field of area made of trees, similar to the area where they practice on going against those monsters for the entrance exams, where I replaced it with trees, and they get sectioned off into a smaller area. So Deku and Uraraka, since Uraraka is a mage type, should be on his team. Bakugo would be teamed up with Ashio or the Acid Girl. I'm pretty sure that's her name. Mina Ashio, something like that. So yeah, I would color magic. When you call it decay, it would be similar. Poison rain, something like that, but it would be acid. And so, I would start. It's pretty much whoever can take down the target first. So, it'd start out with Deku using his Lightning Emperor boots, getting ready, and pulling out his weapons out in air with what people see whenever he uses it. No, he's trying to hide it, so he would already have them out and equipped. So he'd start. As Deku would ask her magic, and she would explain that it's gravity magic, which is very useful. So they'd be going. Deku would be trying to listen around to see if Bakugo's coming, sensing him, and waiting for his mana to get close. Whenever it does, he would have instantly go to grab Uraraka. Whenever Bakugo shouts out, "Murder explosion!" with an explosion appearing underneath them. As Deku jump out of that area. As he would look for the second person, Mina shooting acid bullets through the trees in any direction. So it would be like an ambush, sort of. As Deku would have stomped his foot against the ground using alchemy to move it, blocking them. And then Deku would spin around, shooting off thunderbolts or thunderbullets or whatever bolts in the direction of where Mina and Bakugo is. With Bakugo exploding, countering them, as Deku would jump into the air, kicking off a tree, aiming for the mage of the team, which would be Mina. As Bakugo would have pulled out his blade. Bakugo would not just be like a whole fist fighter, he would still use a sword. So you swing out to Deku, as Deku would spin, knocking the blade out of the sand. And whenever Bakugo tries to pick it back up, Deku would have threw his blade that stabbed into his sword, breaking it. So he would use alchemy again to use earth to hit Bakugo and launch his blade back into the air so he would catch it. So he tells Uraraka to deal with Mina. He'll face off Kacchan or Bakugo. Deku would have ran towards him, throwing kicks left and right. As Bakugo can't really block his blades that he's swinging to, so he has to either push away his hand or dodge. To breach up his hands, throwing an explosion out of it. And then he used explosions on the ground. Deku would counter it with alchemy, using the rounds to shoot spikes, counter each other. As Deku got ready, so he would turn on his assassin's. I don't remember where I called it. Assassin's presence. I don't know. It's where the lightning would appear. And Deku would drag his blade through it. So he would put most of his energy into speed. So he'd be flying across. So he's throwing his blades towards Bakugo as he has to dodge. But it's very hard, since Deku seems to be able to predict any of the magic that he tries to use on the ground, or throw any of his fists to try to hit him. But I say get to the point that Bakugo would have grabbed something from behind him, throwing it, and it would explode. Think of it, it's like a grenade, but it's pretty much like a magic bottle full of the stuff that he creates explosion with, which would have not been a name, but you know it's the same stuff that he sweats, pretty much. Well, Deku would be launched, so he would land on a tree, and he would fly back towards Bakugo. So he would continue swinging until he would activate his lightning lances. Bakugo exploded, saying, "Can't believe I have to use this for a commoner." So he would charge up his explosions, using them to use a buff magic, you could say, making his level, I would say, 65, 15 boost, which is very high for boost magic. And Deku would be able to see his MP, with that draining quite a bit of it, as he would smirk. As Deku would activate his own enhanced magic, but not, it's using his blades actually. His blade is infused with magic, that's why it's so good, since he doesn't have to waste almost all of his MP or mana to put on a strong buff like Bakugo does. So Bakugo sees him buff himself up too. And this Deku would launch himself forward, being much faster than he was before. And Bakugo would be throwing explosions left and right. And it would be Uraraka against Mina. Mina would be able to shoot magic like long range and all that. Uraraka is able to slow her down and perform a magic spell. She pretty much creates orbs that contain the two types of, like making gravity area, zero gravity or tense gravity, with the white one being zero gravity, but what it does, it pushes the person away, and the black one acting like a black hole, sucking them in. So if Mina attacks get too close, she would either use the black hole or use like the white hole, like a reverse black hole pretty much, is what it acts as. And I'd say Uraraka would end it, creating a gigantic black hole one, throwing it, which would launch Mina and take her out. And she would look back seeing Bakugo versus Deku. Deku seems to do pretty well, since he's the one with the weapon, and Baku can't really defend from his blades without getting cut. I'd say it'd be about to the end. He'll tell Deku will launch forward on him point blank range and would spin, pretty much spinning like a tornado using lightning. Not really connecting with his blades, but throwing him off. With them being declared the winner, since they both seem to be knocked out. Orduraka's level, I would say it would be a good 40. And Mina's was like a good 30. Since, I made Orca elf, because I don't know, that would explain how she has that too. Magic of gravity, intense gravity too. So yeah. The rest of the stuff goes pretty well. And it would end there. With them being told that All Might and some other knights, including myself, we're going on a, you could say, hunt with you guys. It won't be too high level, but we'll just be there to watch you. Most of you guys, or some people, may have been in a guild, calling out the names of Deku and Bakugo. I would say Kirishima have been in one, and I would assume Ida would have been told from his family to train like that. Most other ones don't really get to do it, and Todoroki didn't. So it would be the next day since I had to leave and do something. So they would be heading off outside the capital or the kingdom, and would have went far out. They are going to face against orcs. They would be split up in groups. Actually, where's my paper? Give me a second. This is the quickest way I could do it, and where's my thing? Where is it? Okay, actually, not really hard to follow. Each color is a team. There's a team of 4 different teams. Team purple, even though I couldn't get a exact purple, but that's Todoroki. Team green is Izuku. Team reddish, it's supposed to be red, is Bakugo. And team pink is Kirishima. So yeah. They wouldn't be really named after the members of it, but they'll be split in teams. The request is to take down, for each member, so 50 orcs. Somebody can't help you, but they have to at least get 50 of them. And so, they would be attacking the orcs and taking them down. I would say it'll about be almost the end of the time there, until the followers of the former quote-unquote demon, but he was a human, demon lord, which is all for one, would arrive. With them arriving, they bring a new creature, which would be made from necromancy, but not a normal one, like bringing back corpse and all that, but using the ability of fusing corpses together, getting their unique magic, and creating something new, which they could read off. They would have the title of Undead underneath it, and the name of Nomus. The game explains how it means no brain. They are practically have no function of consciousness, like own feelings. They just follow orders, and that's what the system, or All for One, dubbed them as Nomus. As he would look through the crater, since it was made through alchemy, and you can tell who first made the first potion of regeneration. And so, there would be 5 of them. So, these things don't really have a normal level. They would be unknown levels. No, actually there's 6 of them. One of them, that's the biggest, which is there for All Might, or All Night. And another one, and 5 others are for the kids. And they're in charge. Since they can't really tailor each one of these things to fit every student, they would have the standard regeneration and super strength. And I would say magic resistance. Not really like they can't be damaged by it, but it would reduce 75% of damage from it. On All Might's case, he would be facing one of them that can control wind, which is All Might's attribute for magic. So that's why he seemingly has super strength, that he can shoot wind around in this version. And it would have cut protection, or All Might can't just use his physical strength and cut it down in half constantly. And so yeah. So All Might would be battling it, throwing punches and wind strikes to take it down. The blade breaks on impact. On Deku's hand, he would be facing one that seemingly has the ability of flight in this case. Its special ability is flight, and it's very quick at it. And it's flying high enough into the clouds where they can't see him, and uses protection magic over itself and rockets its way down to smash into you, and most of their attacks don't work on it. I tell Deku told Raka to create the biggest zero gravity orb that she can do and launch it towards, and he'll launch it towards the person. And she would say okay, and ask how, and he'd show. She would have made it, and Deku would have been far back, as he'd be charging towards it with his Lightning Emperor boots, and he would fling a kick into it. He would push past the ability of knocking away any target, since her own teammates are not immune to that ability. So he would have slammed his leg into it, kicking it off towards Nomu. Nomu would get close. He would have been pushed away into it, pushing it up into the air, and Deku would get, I would say, what was his name? Get Koda to use his ability of monster talking, as he would tell the orcs to attack that. So it's kind of like a mind control of monsters. And he would tell any flying monsters to come get it. So they would be distracting it, and Deku would be charging up an attack. As it's similar to his lightning lances, but this one Deku's holding and creating bit by bit. So he would run forward, underhand throw and get towards the ground, as it would fly upwards since it is magic and it's controllable, flying, piercing straight through the Nomu's chest. As for everybody else, I would say Kirishima punched his way through his and blocked all the attacks, and they took it down. Bakugo's case, he blew the thing up in the surrounding area using a pretty powerful spell, according to what Deku sees of his MP. Since Season Noble does have a pretty large mana, and it's almost completely depleted. As Todoroki's was separated by ice, as people could see, the trees and areas around it would have been completely frozen. So they would witness All Might's battle. So he would punch his way through the thing, throwing a punch which would have made the stomach of the creature explode, launching it into the air. As everybody would be tired. So, this is where All Might would be, you could say, worried. If he goes to talk with the rest of the knights, I would say, talking to some of the teachers, explaining that it seems like he's back. Those are not monsters, normal ones. And according to Deku, they are classified as undeads, and they were made through alchemy and necromancy at the same time. So it can only be one person with that level of skill. Saying the former demon lord, I'm pretty much saying that he was known as a demon lord, even though he's a human. Or human, quote unquote. When it said to them that we need to prepare ourselves for a war against monsters and those creatures quickly, we need to call in some help from the Orc Kingdom. So, the Orc Kingdom, you may ask, orcs, or not orcs, oh my god, I forgot I made orcs, the actual, like, like goblin. Okay, if you guys don't know, well, probably don't, but it's pretty much in some games they're like known as demon humans or orcs, and I was gonna use orcs even though I already made a creature named Orc. Oh god. So demon human. So this is where not the monsters, but you could say humanoid animals, sort of. They're not really born with large amount of like mana. No, they're born with mana and all that, but not the strongest. And some of them that do warn it are very powerful, but they are born with stronger physical strength than normal. So they're able to become much stronger than most of the other races. I'd say only rivaled by the Dragonborns. And Dragonborns are like descendants of gods because dragons were considered gods in most of countries and all that. So they would have had, you could say, transfer students come. They were sending some people from their schools there for Kodoint training. But without Deku knowing this, since he didn't go to schools like the other people did in his class, but they did this in middle school also, for some noble schools, and most of the demi-humans called them shrimps because most of them were, of course, magic users. I'm pretty much picking out Woodrock and all that. And that they call them little shrimps because they had more physical strength than them. And so they thought that was like the best power and all that. So everybody would get mad about it and triggered, but Deku would ask, why is everybody angry? And so would Kirishima. Let them have to explain that, I would say Rock is saying, back in middle school, you could say they were bullies of sorts. They did this stuff back then too, where they would bring there and you could join train or something like that. And they always made fun of us because we weren't as physical strong as them. Especially to the magic users. Only magic. So yeah. And we're not really looking forward to going there. And she would ask, wait, didn't you go to middle school? And Deku has to rub the back of his head, saying, not really. I live in, you could say, the lowest of the kingdom, the commoners, but like the commoners of commoners. So I didn't actually go to school, which would surprise people, saying, dang, how's that possible? Because Deku would have the top score in the class. And math and science and all that. And they would ask why, and Deku has to explain that his father left behind tons of books on alchemy and science and all that. And I taught myself how to read in ancient languages and the languages now. And they would ask how well are you good at it. As Deku would say if there's anybody injured, come up. As Deku would have pulled out, you could say, the leaf that's designed to make a potion, putting it on his palm of his hand, and then putting it on somebody's chest. As it would enter them, it's pretty much like an insta heal, but it's not as good as high grade ones if he made it normally. He just directly applied it, which would impress some people, saying that sorry about that, I just really had to cough and I tried to pause it. But explaining, well, where was I? I'm really disoriented right now. As we have to explain how it works and explaining that, yeah, I do have a hand for it, saying that, I say Kurshima asking, wait, don't you have earth magic? Since we sing and use it whenever you're in the forest. Deku's saying no. So he put his hand on the ground, using alchemy, able to move it. Explaining how he's able to move stuff around with alchemy and create stuff on will. So yeah, that's how it works. People clapping their hands. But this one, I'm gonna leave it off. I might actually ask you a question about some names. I'm probably gonna post something about it, but I just need some, I'll just search up some names and some people. So yeah, goodbye, peace, hit the wrong